Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is July 29th, 2023, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000 on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendations here, just a look at the market. If you're interested in trading, please contact your financial advisor, talk to your significant other, and see if trading is actually something that is actually suitable for you. Contact us here at Right Side Trading if you are interested and want to learn about trading. Okay, let me just jump right over to the chart and take a look at the Russell 2000. The Russell 2000 is, I thought it was joining the party, but it's one of those ones. That's why I kind of left the where you can see, look at all the different time frames on the Russell, the quarter. Back here in, what was this? 2021, a couple of years ago, the Russell went nowhere all year long. Back here in 2022, when the Russell did its drop to a point, stayed down there, and it's been the slowest one coming out of that bottom. It's at a supply zone that I usually like to see the market get above if it's actually really ready to trend and go to the upside. The Russell is taking its time, and let's take a quick look at that on the other time frames. As you can see here on the monthly time frame, highlights going up and down, up and down, up, and will it come back down? That's what we're looking at right now. But it's definitely having a hard time getting above these dotted lines, which I'm trying. It's my way of identifying a supply zone. I like being at the beginning of that zone. I don't like going all the way to the top of that zone most of the times, especially when it comes to selling. Sellers are usually very aggressive, so that's why I want to be very aware, where that zone is at. And you can see it up here on the weekly chart, how it's just bounced around, how before it has been just bouncing around here in this zone that I've identified. It is bullish, but it's bullish now trying to at a top and trying to see if it can break out of the zone. That's what we're seeing here on the Russell. I'll zoom down on a smaller time frame on a little closer look, and you can see what we're seeing. Let's go to the quarterly chart. All right, on the quarterly chart, we can see we have had a pretty good month this month. This is the first month of the quarter. We're at that top. We are getting above that 10 moving average. Our stochastic has turned around, so it's looking pretty bullish, but we know we are at this supply here, and the Russell definitely is having a hard time getting across there. Let's take a quick look at the monthly chart. Zoom in here. And this is where you see the monthly chart on the Russell look like a daily noise chart. But you got big candles. You got big candles, green, red. This thing been going up here to this level here, coming back down, up here to this level here, coming back down. It's not even quite up to this level right here. So that means, in the way I look at things, the Russell may still have a little bit more. This is the end of the month, though. The thing is, what's going to happen next month? Next month, we got green. We usually get a red. Will we get a red? You got to wait and see if that thing actually going to turn over. We're going to be these are quarterly pivots, and on the quarterly pivot, we have broken on R1 on a quarterly pivot. Will we go to an R2 level on a quarterly pivot before this thing decides to turn around? If it's going to turn around. If it gets to that point, it's going to be up above, that 200 mark, and on the future contract, it's probably going to be. Let's take a quick look at the future contract right quick. Let's do a /RTY and see exactly where it's at on this monthly pivot. I should still have some of these. My zone thing here is a little bit higher on here. As you can see, I got a marker here to see if this thing is actually going. This is where probably the lower part of my zone to see if we're going to get a close above that, and this is actually getting a close above 2,000 if that's going to actually happen. If I'm being aggressive selling, that's where I'm selling at. But I'm not selling, no trade recommendations. Okay, so forget that. But as you can see, this is even on the future contract. This is where we are. But on the future contract, look how we got a few more reds on that month and green. That's the only other thing there. But let me go back to IWM. Zoom back in. Yeah, we had those reds there. Again, they should be looking identical pretty much. The numbers may be off a little bit. Like this is at 1960, by 10, and the other one was at it was at 9 something. So, but the big thing is we're right here at this supply, and getting above 200 is the magic thing. Is it going to get above 200 and get a close? But still, it's got this top way up here before this thing really give you some crazy sales and back down to the downside. But we're not quite there yet, so it can go a little bit higher. So let's go ahead, zoom into the weekly. Spent a little bit too much time on that. It's one of the ones. But as you can see on the weekly, we get green, 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 green. Then it comes down, it goes up, comes down, goes up. But it's staying within this. This is a fairly large range. We haven't seen it down here in a while. This market has been really taking its time here, making its way back to the upside and all. And that's what would have me a little bit nervous, But I can see it's not quite there yet. Once it gets there, then that sell-off probably may start. But that's going to be, again, we're looking to see this thing. Is it going to reach an R2 level? And since this is a weekly chart, these are monthly pivots. We can see before that it reached the R2 level and came down. We can see this was near the end of the month. It reached an R2 level, then ended up coming down. The thing is, will it go here before it actually turned down? And this is looking at IWM. So, but this thing is slow, so slow. That's why it's kind of, you got to be careful about how you trade this thing, because it moves slow. It's a big boy. 2,000 compared to the 500, your 100, and your 30. So this is the big boy, and it's like a long train. It takes a long time for it to actually make a move. Let's go ahead and zoom down here to the daily noise and see what we've been said here. And that's the thing. What the other kind of, it's been getting this little cluster. Some of us call these little clusters. Like when you start seeing these little clusters like this, that starts getting you nervous. It's building up. Is it consolidate? It's kind of like what we call consolidation. Is it consolidating to go higher, or is it consolidating to go lower? And that's a pretty good consolidation there in this little tight little price range here. That's like almost like a $5 price range. I'm seeing 193 here, and that's a 198 up there, and it just hasn't reached yet. So that's really, really pretty tight. That is actually going in. And it's kind of like what it did back here, and it dropped, what it did back here, and it ended up coming back and testing this before it actually popped. So we can see there's plenty of gaps around here. The Russell is a different one to trade. That's all I can say. And that's all I really want to share. We are at a top on our stochastic, so we're above. It's all looking bullish. But this was a bearish thing that happened there on Thursday. We had got a pretty good drop and all, but now we got this inside bull day, I call it. You got the bull in the corral. Will the bull break out to the top, or will the bull break out to the bottom? We just have to wait and see. But based on where it's at, it's more bullish being above the 10 than it is bearish since it's not below the 10. It came back on Friday, even though our stochastic is still up here at the top. So your stop, if you're in any long trades, should be in place and all. Can always get back in. No trade recommendation there, but that's the way that's the way I usually look at it. So let me let this go. All right, this is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I'll talk to you next weekend. Have a good one. Bye.